Bismillah. Let me see. Episode 1 is the 18th of May, and inshallah it's a new start halfway through the year. Not where I want to be in terms of my consistency of trading. Complete disclaimer, as of today, completely unprofitable, 0 payouts, more money than I want to even think about in terms of lost in the markets. Still a developing student, 1.5 months of having a proper mentor. Shout out to Dylan, great guy, great teacher, and my deficiencies in my performance have been purely down to my own mindset, ignorance, bad habits, all of these combined, and excuses. But in any case, this video is purely for my sake. If anyone wants to watch and benefit from the analysis, then, or just critique or whatever, feel free. But this channel is purely set out as an accountability for myself to look back on, and God willing, inshallah, be a source of seeing the journey develop from financial depravity, real squeeze if you like, to hopefully independence. And trading's not my or it's not my goal to be a full-time trader in terms of income. I just hope to learn the skills to enable me to push the vehicles in which I would like to be involved in, and make a difference, and leave a mark. And Ya Allah, may you enable me to help my brothers and sisters in Gaza, and all around the world that need help, and to not be of the hypocrites. Okay, so I'm going to start at NQ. This is my first, this is what I'm primarily interested, is the movement of NQ. So I'll get rid of all of this. Alright, all of this is not. So I'm going to start as I like to do. I'm just going to go on a continuous contract because you can see very well what we've done looking at the continuous, yeah? So if we look at the 9 months, I'm just going to do a quick DoorDash if you like, what have we done? What looked like was a very, very bearish, when this, like we were going to hell, we came exactly to the point of the 50%, and we displaced heavily. Smart money's picked up a bargain, an absolute bargain at this order block, and it's displaced away. So this market is entirely bullish right now. I'm gonna go. This was done a little while ago. So what were we saying? Where the news, etc. Might be looking at this strippers. So I done this note when it looked really terrible, right? When we didn't have a wick and a pullback. So I'm gonna get rid of it now. Check out the last 6 month low. I'm gonna display this to it. Now I just I'm just gonna put it out there, right? There is equal lows left, and I don't know if we've actually pierced. I mean, the 50% is what, 6459, and this candle falls at, yeah, it's like a point above. But yeah, right now we can't even think about the bearish scenario as of now, right? All-time highs are, as my mentor says, they're no crosshairs. Yeah, so we look at it closer. Oh no. To the tip, right? Okay, 3 month. Let's look at 2 months. What do we have? 2 months. 2 months high probability order block. I mean, let me just make sure what I mean by. I'm gonna get rid of this because it's not. So our drawn liquidity is very clear on this time frame. Yeah, sound all. Now so on a 3-week time frame, I'm just looking at areas if we do see a turn, you know, where we'd look for it to bounce off. So that's why this is important. Cycling down the time frames. Okay, so right here we've got to be wary. Why am I saying that? Although my target is here, we've had such a big run up. Yeah, there's a high probability order block to turn from. Why? Because so this order block, right? It had taken out this bit of liquidity before the dump, so we could see a dump from this area. So anyone coming into this market this week is looking at this big, green candle, if you like, a bullish candle, and how they are internalizing it is that we're very, very bullish, and we are. But does that mean we have to run the target straight away? No. So it's completely reasonable if we see this SIBI here. So 1 week SIBI. Right, so it's very reasonable for this 1 week SIBI to act as a turning point. Where to? This is an area that we could see. We have within the 3 week, we have a volume imbalance here. And even it would, I'm just gonna not even label that, because what I've seen here is this area has been an immediate rebalance, if you like. So it could just be simply down to, it wouldn't even need to get to the lower half of the 3 week. Yeah. So yeah, keeping an eye out for that. So yeah, high time frame we're bullish, but that doesn't mean the candle needs to open and just start exploding higher, right? To meet our objectives. Now if we look at the 18th is Sunday, so next week's calendar, Monday the 19th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we have, so yeah, hardly any news until Thursday, so it could really be a crappy week of price action, right? So this is what we're looking at. Just cycle down quickly in a time frame. What's this? These are just times I've started playing around with. Once we reclaim this BPO, then I don't expect to hang around to explode into the highs. There you go, beautiful. And it's done that, right? So as of now, yeah, I'm seeing bodies respect this weekly bearish order block. This is the kind of sign I want to see to get a turn, right? We've got this for lower prices. Well, we've got this. I don't know if, yeah, I had a feeling. So for anyone who's not having the, 1 second. Oh. So don't forget, this is the 1 week SIBI that we're in right now. So what are we saying over here? We've cycled through the higher time frame. We're in an area, even though we're bullish, we're saying we're in an area where price could turn. We've just had all of this rip, and so we could easily see, right, a retracement from the highs, or the high might be set on Monday. It might take out these highs as a further manipulation. Could wick higher, take out last week Thursday's high before making its way down into this whole gap. And what I'm trying to say is, this is how it would do it. This is the kind of signatures we could look to, at least on this time frame, right? So we're already seeing that price is being held body wise underneath the weekly order block, right? At the same time, we could make an argument, but it's respecting body sitting on the weekly SIBI. So what I'm looking for is essentially, do we get continuation on Monday as a manipulation, take out all of these, so we're ranging, take out these up into the higher portion of the SIBI, and then displace lower, right? get underneath the CB, use this high probability inverse. Why is this a high probability inverse? It was used to send us higher into the highs, and then to come into a discount of the range, right, into this busy over here, for us to find right. So this is the type of play that I'm keeping an eye out for. And in turn, right, so that I hope makes sense. And I'm not even gonna this is what we could be looking for. And don't forget, this is a very important area. What's this on the 3 week? I'm just cycling through the time frames. Right, what's interesting is we've already had SMT at the highs, right? So yeah, again, we need to close underneath here, and then I could look at this as a bearish order block, a bearish breaker. Wouldn't really want to see it violate this to take us into the midpoint to discount. But that's my read so far on NQ. Let's see if I can have a read on let's have a look what's happening at dollar. Actually, before I do that, I just found myself get lazy, but just want to see what we've got that we were looking at. I'm gonna transpose that into the continuous. Oh, continuous. Okay. What was I looking over here? We're looking at 1 week. So that was important to me. And then we had within that just looking at the levels I was interested. Oh, what's happened there, mate? Alright, that's annoying. I don't know what happened there, but that's the type of shit that makes me wanna quit. I've got be a bit quicker, I think, in my this would be an inverse, but it's too close to my take profit level, so I want to refine it. 656, 545. So what I mean by this is, you know, to get underneath all the way here, and then for me to say I'm looking for a okay, this as well. What is this 323 equate to? So if we get underneath here, if we close underneath here on the 5 hour, then I'm looking for price to, this needs to be, it's not breakers are busy. Right, yeah. So then we'd look for price to get into a discount of this range. Okay. So closure underneath here. I just want to double check something because we do have a SMT, right? Closure underneath here on the 101. We can look for this to act as a inverse to start the run lower. And then underneath here you've got the breaker and this inverse. Get rid of this area here now. So we're just to recap, we're bullish, we're looking for all-time highs, but it doesn't mean it needs to get there in one go, right? So this will probably range for a bit. We might take out the highs again, and at that point it would be perfect opportunity to ride some shorts into a discount. We've had a massive run up, so we just need to be a little bit smart about how we go into the week. Just wait for price to develop and just understand the overarching order flow, the overarching storyline of how they are going to deliver to the all-time highs. That if we look at the weekly candle, right, we are at this 1 week. Yep. So we have this, and this as a potential as an area we see price reject from. When we say reject as well, doesn't mean we're gonna go to hell. No, it just means we could see it turn back into somewhere like here. Let me make this black because it is a significant 1 week liquidity void. There was no trading in this area, so it's a very so yeah, we could get a significant pullback all the way into here, right? And so let price develop in what could be a range here. Maybe we do have a run on highs one more time, right? It's important we just get patient over here until I think this would be a good sign for me. Body closure underneath the same first value gap would lay a good foundation for us to get into a short target in these minimum here, but ultimately I'm looking at the liquidity world as a drawn liquidity. Okay, so that was it for NQ. I'm just gonna have a brief look at Dixie. So get rid of anything. So I think what I was looking at here on the 12 month, let's go 12 month. We've come into we're rejecting, displacing away from C of this wick. And so I'm looking for this as a target, right? That's what I was looking at. So, so I want to see this left over as a breaker, right? I've had a run on stops, and I want to see continued heaviness into this target. That's what I'm looking at for dollar. Simple as that. I'm going to move on. So I'm bearish on dollar, right? I want to see this candle close, maybe the next candle we might get a higher dollar into this BC over here, but I want this to remain as a breakaway. These are three down close candles here are bearish breaker. I don't want to see price even get into the CE, right? That's my view on Dixie. Now let me go into bonds. I have to admit, I feel like I've not looked in these for so long that it's become a weakness. Let's start with 6 months, let's start with 9 months. about 12 months. Five-year T-note futures, okay. I think we're just ranging, to be honest. What am I seeing on bonds? I think we're just ranging. I think bonds is going to stay in a range. We're bearish, but we've got these lows as well. If I have to pick a target, it's here, right? But at the same time, you know, could be working off this order block here. So yeah, I do expect these lows to be taken, don't get me wrong, but we could see higher before lower. So let's keep this very light, this analysis. Again, clearly bearish. Yeah, so it could still be messed up. Like I said, you know, we've got traditionally, if bonds are bearish, then you know stocks should be bearish, right? But they're not. So it's something we have to contend with at the moment. And just let's put them side by side. So who knows, maybe we've got SMT at the lows. Let's see if they hold. Right, now I'm gonna go and just see if the treasuries are any So I'm just gonna go here first. So there's no two ways around it, right? Treasuries are clearly bullish, right? What does that mean? That means if the yields you get for holding dollars are higher, what does it mean for the dollar? It means more people want to hold it. It's a bullish dollar. So this is where my analysis kind of is throwing me off. I don't know if it's the time. The times are, the markets are not, they're not correlated as they should. Or if, like what I'm looking at dollar is actually not a bearish dollar to come. It might have just been, like, for example, I'll do it on the other, I'll do it over here. So perhaps, what have we done in dollar? Perhaps we've ranged, perhaps we've taken out highs, now we've taken out lows, and we're going back in a range, right? So we cannot be completely bearish on dollar because of this right now. It's clearly bullish, right? That's the 30-year. It's clearly bullish. Let's look at the again, clearly bullish, right? Breakaway gap, and this is a nice recovery. So it's got me thinking, what if treasuries do turn and just create an equal high? Yeah, like here, it's been bullish, but we see this a lot. Another equal high created, maybe a turn from here. I think this will be very telling if we manage to get the 5-year. I'll be watching this actually. So I'll be interested to see. Sound like this dollar to come into this. Yeah, so I'm very interested to see something like this play out. We reject off because we're seeing changing the state of delivery, propose on block. Now I want to see it turn from here. Look at all of these lows. So yeah, Now, again, I don't like these ones where I'm like, if we get underneath here, we can run it too close to the discount. And so I'm gonna take this off my chart. I'm gonna go on a time frame. If we get underneath here, I'm gonna set alert, then I'm looking for that to take us into the lows. So I'll set low alert. Alright, that's it for if you've stuck around. Yeah, I know it was only me stuck around, but it's still good practice. I need to, what I've noticed, I need to revisit this myself, because I'll do a great analysis like this and I'll actually forget the key areas and whatnot. So 59 minutes, cool. That's how long it took.